Welcome to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host Suttles, and today we'll be talking about the weak-ass move from Dougie P, the extension of Patrick Graham, the keeping of Dave Gettlemen, and what we should do on the 2021 offseason. Let's get it. Let me say this first and foremost. I am not upset of how the results happened for us not to make the playoffs. I am very happy with how our season transpired because it was a roller coaster ride, but we are definitely trending up while the Eagles are trending down. So I have no problem with the results of how everything happened. Now, I have a problem as a football fan and also as a Jalen Hurts fan because I am a fan of him. I've seen him play at Alabama and I've seen him play at Oklahoma. And the way that this guy conducts professionalism, he did not deserve what happened to him that night. He did not. He deserved to finish out the game, win, lose, or draw on that final week to prove to the Eagles organization that he could be the guy. Doug Peterson pulled the rug from up under him. And also from the other guys that was out there on that field. Now, granted, 50% of that team is not going to be there next year. And a lot of the guys like Jason Kelsey and Ertz, they're not going to be there next year. But the guys that sat out, they seen what he did. And it was just bad. It was just overall bad. And then you're going to sit up there on a press conference and say, yeah, I was trying to win. No, you weren't. You weren't trying to win. You wanted to tank the game. But the problem was, if you wanted to tank from the beginning, why didn't you just start Nate Sudfeld? Or better yet, why didn't you put him in when you were up 14-10? That's the real question. If you really wanted to evaluate quarterbacks, why didn't you put him in at halftime? You would have said, hey, I seen enough from Jalen Hurts. Time to put Nate Sudfeld in so I can see what we have going with our quarterback situation next year. Now, a lot of people are up in arms because they're like, oh, he should be fired for disrespecting the integrity of the game. I don't want him fired. As a Giants fan, I do not want him fired. I want him to come back. I want the Eagles to give this man a 10-year extension because that means that they ain't never going to win another division for a long time off of what he just did. Next year, I'm saying this right now, you can book it. That team is not going to win over 5 games simply because you cannot do what he did and then go back into the locker room saying, oh, we gave it our all, oh, this is what we need to do to be successful. You can't do it. It's not going to be able to be done. And the guys in the locker room are going to know that he's fake. The guys in the locker room are going to know that he's a puppet of the owner. And I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to transpire with their organization. But at the end of the day, it taught the Giants a good lesson. Now, when you're young in life, you learn a lot of lessons so that later on in life, you won't do the same thing over and over. And the lesson taught is do not leave your fate in the hands of another team. Do not leave your playoff fate in the hands of another team, let alone a division rival. All this did was add gas to the fire. All this did was spark the rival up a little bit more. And I can guarantee you, next season, that first game against the Giants and Eagles, it's going to be on primetime. It's going to be either a Sunday night game or it's going to be a Monday night game. But the NFL is going to make sure that this hatred, this animosity will be televised for everybody to see. Now, on to Patrick Graham. I made a video earlier in the season stating that Patrick Graham wasn't going anywhere. And I'm so happy that I was right on that. Patrick Graham signed the extension to be with the Giants and to be the defensive coordinator for the Giants. Now, I don't know if it was just off of what he had done. I didn't know if he really wanted to stay. Or I didn't know if, the New York Jets trying to interview him really just said, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to stay here. I'm good with that. Jets, y'all can have that. But let alone, he will be our defensive coordinator next year. For me, I really expect him to only really be here for about 2-3 more years because that guy is truly a mastermind. He's going to get a head coaching position, and he's going to do really good at the head coaching position. It's just a matter of time. But for now, he's our defensive coordinator, and that's kudos. Giants did it right. Now, on to Dave Gettlemen. For some people, this is bad news. For some people, it's good news. For me, I'm fine with it. I'm fine. The thing that I've always said about Dave Gettlemen was he was a very unorthodox general manager. And he made a lot of crazy decisions that guys didn't see at that time. But I think that's just what we needed. Because everything was done the Giants way, and it needs to be done this way, and we have to go straight line. But, you know, Gettlemen was like, nah, I'm going to go left, then I'm going to go right, so it's very unorthodox, and the fans are driven crazy off of the moves that he did. But we have to look at the positives that he did. As a general manager, he didn't come into the best situation at all. He came into salary cap hell. He came to an organization that had a losing mentality. They didn't have any young prospects. They didn't have anything. They was trying to build around a 36-year-old quarterback. They had nothing. But now when Gettlemen comes, he ruffles some feathers by trading away a lot of the individual talent that we had that really wasn't helping us win at all. But he traded them, getting trades, getting draft picks. His draft picks, they either were good or decent. They weren't really home runs. Saquon was a home run, but I still didn't like the Saquon pick. I like Saquon as a player, and I love him for the Giants, but that draft, I wanted Quentin Nelson because I knew that the offensive line is the lifeblood of the offense, and just having a running back run behind a terrible offensive line, it wasn't going to work. But his signings this year particularly made great headway, and it brought us to a different level of that defense. Now the Leonard Williams trade is not looking as bad as it did the time that he did it. So it's a lot of things that he's done that look so crazy, and no GM bats 1,000. So if you're going to sit up here and be like, oh, well, look at this bad move, you got to understand he was hamstrung with money. Jerry Reese left this organization in a terrible, terrible place. So for Dave to come here to do what he did, and especially the thing that I liked, remember this, last year he was on the chopping block. He needed to do something to get this team going forward. He was looking to lose his job. Now, if we can think back with Jerry Reese, when Jerry Reese was about to lose his job, what did he do? He spent all the Giants' money, gave them long contracts, got them into salary cap hell just to make the playoffs that one year. Dave Gettlemen didn't do that. He did short-term contracts. He didn't spend all of the money. He made sure that the organization would still be running well, even if he did get fired this season. So I do have to give that kind of respect to him. But in my theory, I don't believe that Dave Gettleman's going to get fired. So for all the Gettlemen haters, just strap on your boots. He's going to be the GM literally until he retires. I believe that it's going to be kind of how like Ernie Accorsi is. Gettlemen is going to build this team, but he's not going to be around long enough when we're competing for championships. He's going to retire, and it's either going to be Abrams or they're going to give it to Joe Judge, one or the other. But Gettleman's not going to be around when this team actually gets really good and is ready for a Super Bowl run, but he will be the orchestrator from it. And New Yorkers, we understand how the New York base is. We hate you until we love you. Simple as that. We just hate you until we love you. Now, on to what we should do for the 2021 season. This offseason is going to be very important, especially for the offense. The defense, I see it's going to be prosper for the defense, we should really only have to do is sign Leonard Williams. We already got Logan Ryan on a contract extension. We got Blake Martinez. James Bradbury's coming back. All we got to do is run it back. We already got the defensive coordinator. For the defense, it's more about signing Leonard Williams. You can find a run-stuffing D-tackle late in the draft. You can possibly get an edge rusher off of the free agent market, maybe, or maybe trade for one. I'm going to get more into detail about that with another video, but these are the things that we should really be looking for. We'll be able to get a cornerback too. It's not too many problems on the defensive end because Patrick Graham does know how to scheme up pressure, and also guys coming back into the system for a second season, they're going to be way better. Now, for the offense, please, 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 please get Danny some playmakers. We've worked on the offensive line all these years, and the offensive line looked very promising. I believe next year the offensive line will be a top half of the league, maybe even a top 10 offensive line. Run blocking and pass blocking. That's what I believe. The way that they had the chemistry, the way that they were going towards the end of the season, it looked very promising to me. The running back, we know we have Wayne Gallman as a good backup, and we got Saquon Barkley coming back. Now, we don't know how he's going to be on the injury. Maybe that injury will take away a lot of his shiftiness, but maybe he will start to be a downhill runner, which everybody was asking for in the first place. So we don't know what that's going to be, but we know that our running backs are good. We know our offensive line will be decent. Get Danny some playmakers, please. Playmakers. My advice, there are multiple wide receivers on the free agent market. Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, etc. Get one of these guys. I prefer Chris Godwin. Go ahead, get Chris Godwin. Go into the draft with this number 11 pick. Draft the wide receiver, because I want Danny, I want to get a full evaluation of Daniel Jones. I want to see what he can do when he has weapons. I want to see what he can do when there's guys that can create separation. I want to see what he can do when he has guys that are able to run a 9 route and he can let that thing fly, because he is very accurate going down the field. I want to see and evaluate Daniel Jones the correct way so that I can know, is he the franchise quarterback or is he not? We see he has the talent. We see he has the intangibles, but we just don't know, because is it that the wide receivers are not getting open? Is it he can't get them the ball? What is it? We just don't know. Place everything around Danny. Make sure that he has the best opportunity to succeed. Get him some playmakers. Now, for the draft, I am going to be doing player profiles of who I believe that we should draft and one of my top prospects in different positions. So you can look forward to that. But in the draft, I want a wide receiver. I want Weddle. I want Smith. I want Chase. I want one of these guys at number 11 for our organization to help Danny succeed. Now, for everybody that's saying, oh, those guys really aren't going to be there, if somebody can point to me a draft where 3 top wide receivers went in the top 10, then you got me. But I highly doubt that 3 wide receivers are going to go in the top 10. At number 11, we will be able to get that wide receiver. And please get him some help so that us as the fans, you as an organization, can get a full evaluation of Danny Jones so that we can know if he is the guy or if he ain't. And this has been a Subtle Take for Easy 3 Sport Production. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Sharing is caring. Help the channel grow. Until next time, I'm out.